Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Stormworks video. Today's video is going to be going over how to create a ballast system for our ship. Remember in the last video, we went over designing a hull, both a bow and a stern. This video we're going to create decks, some watertight compartments, and of course an active stabilizer. So in the next episode, we can piece it all together and make a whole ship. Without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, whenever you're ready, go over to your workbench and open it up. So here's the bow that we last left off. Now, a few things we need to do. We need to build some decks. We need to build some walls, add some doors. This will create a watertight seal in certain areas of the ship. And then we're going to build a stabilizer. But first we got to build, of course, the decks. So we're going to get the block, we're going to get doors, and we're going to figure out where everything's going to go. And so, like we did, we're going to put the door down and we're going to figure out, that's about right. If we remember, it was too high. Oop. Fill this in. Now, I know I made it seem like we would have tons of decks in the last episode, but in reality, we don't need all these decks. This can be a maybe here's what we'll do, because we're building a cargo ship. We'll design these holds, and this deck can just be an area that we can, but there'll be a huge open space that goes through the ship down to the bottom. So we're gonna have to measure where these decks will go. So first we're gonna add these barriers here, about 4 high. And then we're gonna add these holds. And I want to give a quick disclaimer. I'm not building this ship as a tutorial like this is how you should. This is all I'm doing is just a test. This is just an example boat. I'm not giving any sort of specific design. I am actually just making it as I go along, which is a bad strategy. But hey, I just want to go over the most basics, such as how to actually make a hull, because any ship can make a hull like that. An ocean liner, a military ship, you name it. But of course I need a bit of a ship, and I need a bit of a ship to work with. So I can't just build an active stabilizer. I'd like to actually show it how it works in a boat. And for an active stabilizer to work, you're going to want to build your active stabilizer after you add all the decks and doors and bulky areas, because then you'll know how much you need to tweak it in order to be completely stable. If you build it first and then you add in all this stuff and you realize, oh, I didn't add enough weight, and oh, now there's not enough room. See how that can lead to a bit of a downfall in your boat because of a mistake like that. I'll make this pretty equal. And then we're going to make a hole. You'll probably see where I'm going with this. And actually, I have never built a cargo ship in Stormworks, but I probably will eventually. So this is a good little test of my skill. Now we got an opening here. Might want to raise these a bit more. Alright, now we have this. I'm going to just go super speedy, like I do, and add in a bunch more. See you in a second. Alright, now that we have all our cargo hatches in, I also went ahead and added in these bulkheads because to save a bit of time in the video. They are pretty easy to build. And so now you'll notice that there's just a big opening. And if we spawn it in, watch what will happen. They'll immediately fill with water. So it's going to be sealed airtight. So that's what we're going to have to do. So I could just build one of those nice fancy big opening doors, but I don't feel like doing that. This is a tutorial series. So we're going to simply just cover this up. If I was really building a ship, I would worry about that, but that's not the point of this series. We're meant to do the list that I said at the start, which is to build a boat and figure out how to freaking sink it. So, how lovely. Anyways, we're gonna just add a standard door right here. I'm gonna do the same over here. And here. That's sealed. Alright, now we're going to take this, reseal it. We're going to fill that in just so it looks nicer. And once we spawn it in, it should be floating. Or maybe it'll capsize again because of the weird new weight added. Oops. notice how it kind of falls over. It doesn't completely fall, it completely rolls over. That isn't good. It's not good. So we want to stabilize the ship. But before we do that, we also want to add the back area of our stern. So we're going to save this. We're going to overwrite our tutorial bow. Then load in our tutorial stern. And yeah, we're going to do the same thing we did here. Add in these kind of barriers to protect us from falling over into the ocean. It's generally a pretty not good thing to happen, especially in this game. The oceans in this game are terrifying. I don't care what you say. They're scarier than Subnautica. I have a video essay that I hopefully will make in the future going over the game, and I want to have a specific segment just talking about that. Hopefully if you guys watch, subscribe, and I can push out, it'll motivate me to push out more high quality videos that you guys can enjoy. So yeah, I'm going to go in super speedy mode once again to fill in these, and I'm also going to add a deck house while I'm doing that. Alright, see you in a second. Alright, so after speeding through that, I got a basic deckhouse done, and I got the most basic engine functions down. But now it is time for the main part of this video, the stabilizer. Just a quick reminder, the reason why we had to build all this is because we need to give the ship true weight, so we can get a good reference of how big the stabilizer needs to be, how powerful it needs to be, etc. So, an active stabilizer actually isn't that hard to build, but we need to find a good place to build one. I'd say in this compartment right here. So, to build an active stabilizer, here's the resources you're going to need. You're going to need a weight block. Then go down to mechanics and get compact linear track base. You're going to want to get the track expansion next to it. In logic, you're going to want to get a PID controller and get a constant on signal. And I believe sensors, if I have to find that, sensors, you're going to want a tilt sensor, if I just can find it. What the hell, where is it? Is that it? Yes. Okay. Okay. So, to build an active stabilizer, first you take your track expansion, you place it. Make sure the arrows are facing the port and starboard, not bow to stern. Port, starboard, starboard, port. It really doesn't matter. Then place another one at the end here. All right. Now that you have those, you're gonna put a track down like this. And then you're going to want to take this, put a weight block there, and then merge the blue with the green. And then, you know, add your weight. There we go. Make sure we got some. Now what a tilt sensor, or what this active stabilizer will do, is that it will take a reading and tell it to move in the opposite direction of a list. So for listing to port, the thing will move over to starboard to put more weight on that end of the ship. So it's important to have not only a good amount of weight, but also it's important to know how much how sensitive you want it. So now we got the basic of it done. We're going to want to add our logic. So, tilt sensor, I can't exactly remember. We're gonna have to do a little experimenting here together. You put it either in the opposite direction of the negative value or the same direction. We'll just test it. If it's the wrong way, then we'll fix it. But place it down. So for logic, you're gonna want to take the tilt number and add it to the process variable. Take the control output, so the actual signal, and you're going to want to connect that to the track speed. Right? And then take the constant on and put it onto the active. Now go to selection, click this. Put this at 0 and put this at 4,000. I believe that might be a good enough one. We'll see. It's a smaller boat, so it might not need as large as a stabilizer, or as sensitive as a number, but let's spawn her in and see what happens. Alright. So now we know that. Now let's test this. Let's put it to like 7,000, and if this still capsizes, then the sensor must be facing the wrong direction. Must be facing the wrong direction. Why is this like that? Yeah, it's in the wrong direction. It's going towards the side that it's listing, and that's not what we want. Oh, also, your YouTuber tutorial guy that is me is also an idiot. I forgot we need a battery. Holy shit, I am so sorry, everyone. Make sure you have a battery. Maybe if you were smart. Maybe if we were in, like, electric mode where there's always power. You're gonna want to make sure these have power. And also add that to the engine. But also, I still think this is facing the wrong direction. Process variable. Let's also tweak this to. And again, let's wait. Okay, let's make sure this is as low in the water as it can go. Notice how it's staying in the center. It's keeping the ship as stable as possible. And now it works. That's your active stabilizer. Now we're going to add 2 in the bow and the stern. But I believe I should just do that off camera. But there's one more thing we need to do. And it's almost like a teaser for the next episode. We're going to need to add magnets to the end of the ship here. If you don't know why, you'll see, but just follow along. So I'd say around here, we're going to add a large magnet. And we're gonna rig it up to the, we're gonna use this. You can put another constant on signal, but for now we might as well use the same one over here and add it to magnet toggle. So that's toggled. We can also take the battery power. Alright, now we can save this tutorial stern. And do the same on the bow, just over here. And once that's in, we are pretty much done with this episode. And again, like I said, I'm gonna add 2 stabilizers just for maximum stability, but that's up to you. Depends on how unstable your boat ends up being. Connect that, connect that. Put that up. Oh. Data. Alright, actually, because I have something I need to put there later in that area right there, we're going to move this back over. But yeah, if you're already watching, know how to do it. Magnet toggle, and just power those so they're up and running. And yeah, we're going to save this. I'm going to add an active stabilizer on off camera, like I said. But now that we have the basics of the ship down, hopefully everything I've taught you was working out for you. So yeah, I hope this was helpful, and I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you tomorrow in the next video. So goodbye.